Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching Pretty Little Liars, Original Sin, Season 1, Episode 10.
Final Girls.
Where are you?
I mostly liked it.
I was hating it.
Oh.
Hard hating it.
Okay.
And then it beat me in submission by the end.
There were just so many things that I was like, I was right about that. I never expected the principal to be involved. That was weird and off the wall. And also, that man's not old enough for that.
No, absolutely not. I didn't until it happened, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
It was a little bit like a Scooby-Doo episode or like a Law and Order where it's like, well, the person that we haven't seen is going to be, you know.
Yeah. I will tell you, I'm pissed about Chip. I don't think...
If that's what they were doing, I do wish they did it a little bit different.
I don't think they laid the groundwork the right way.
Yeah, that's where I was the angriest. Okay, so I want to say that, you know, we're in a very sophisticated play. Yeah. Audience members are very sophisticated these days, and we have had lots of twisty, turny, excellent mysteries. And there's just so many times you can reinvent the wheel. And so I do sort of have a soft spot in my heart for just kind of a standard, like, oh no, who did it? That guy. Ah! Yeah. You know what I mean? There was a part of it that I mean, I enjoyed the TVMA part of it, but I'm also like, this should be for teenagers.
That's true. It doesn't need the TVMA. And if I'm being honest, every time one of them said fuck, it like really threw me off. I was sort of longing for the ABC family of the old one.
It didn't throw me, but I reached a point, and we did finish Peep Watch at a whopping one peep
only. One random peep only.
Mm-hmm. I kind of just wish we didn't have to deal with like the is it the FCC? Yeah, the FCC, the TV version of the MPA.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what is happening. I don't know. I just sort of wish we could tell the story that needs to be told and not have to worry about like capping off what specific age.
Yeah, where it's like you still made a show for teenagers, except you tried to make it...
It was just a little risque.
You tried to make it mature, but then you still kneecapped it by having it have to be appropriate for teenagers.
But I think that the rating system is sort of on its way out. Like, I think
it's
like
flawed for sure.
Yeah, which I think ultimately is a good thing. But I think the future that we're heading to with streaming, because it gets rid of the FCC, because it gets rid of all of that, is
sort of. Yeah.
I mean, kind of, is that there's either going to be children's entertainment or adult entertainment. That's sort of where we're at. And the middle ground is Disney, is the entire MCU. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
We made it. We are 29 movies into the MCU. We have had one sex scene and one butt in 29 movies.
Yeah.
That's kind of staggering when you consider PG-13. I mean, that's...
What's the sex scene?
Eternals.
Oh, yeah.
It was. Because one of my favorite tweets was... We love the Marvel. We're big Marvel people. But one of my...
Yeah.
One of my favorite tweets was, it was like, imagine having to explain to a Marvel fan what sex is. Because they're sexless.
Yeah,
and
I know they are. They are.
And that's one of the things I liked about Wonder Woman, is that it was sexy. And I'm a big fan of that. And I mean, I grew up in a time where PG movies had, you know, some tasteful side boob and like a errant F word or two. Like, I don't know.
PG-13 didn't exist when we were born. Yeah.
Sure. So I guess my point is, it's like, even though this is TVMA and even though there's a handful of things, it's actually mostly just fine.
Yeah, this could air on the CW.
And
if you just took the language out.
And I'm at the point where I'm like, what does one errant peep matter?
Yeah,
like,
and also with the...
Bring that to the CW as well.
Regarding the language, we watched 5 seasons of The Magicians where they just sort of stopped caring.
I loved the tactic that Sarah Gamble pulled, where she basically was like, college kids talk this way.
Yeah.
So it's inauthentic. The art is inauthentic if we have to censor how they speak. And Sci-Fi was just like,
fine.
Sure, I don't.
Fine.
Ryan Murphy's wreaking havoc. We don't got like. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
All in all, I think I enjoyed it, and certainly, but like I said, by the end, it beat me into submission.
Yeah.
So I like the notion that the like entitled, self-appointed good guy was the villain and neither of the two jocks that we were afraid of.
Sure, which is fair, but I also take issue with.
Turns out Sean's fine. But I kind of love that.
He's got that piece of work dad. That must be it. But I guess I also sort of hate the fact that they were like, we have DNA proof. And it's like, no, you have a bunch of bloody cotton balls and Greg the jock being like, yeah, I think he was there.
They somehow tested it. Yeah. The times when they're certain and the times when they're confused and need clarification.
Like, to the point where...
are staggering.
Yeah, Rachel and I both were like, they must be doing a bit to get him to, like, out someone else.
I up to and including when A walked in, I was like, oh, this is for something else.
Yeah.
And then, no. I also love... I actually had a great time.
No, it was great.
I mean, I don't know that this is the most satisfying ending to, like, a murder, scary movie mystery, but I love that in the beginning, because, because that happens. So Tabby and Imogen confront Chip, don't tell anybody about it. A comes out of the, like, shadows, chases Chip. Tabby and Imogen essentially just go,
well, because
he like leaves.
Imogen is like, he hurt us. Mm-hmm. The guy who ran away hurt us. Go after him.
He's this like this weird avenging angel. And so then they go home, go to bed, wake up, get dressed, eat breakfast, ride the school bus to school, whatever. Wait till lunch to tell the other three girls that A's back.
Yeah.
They're like, and oh, by the way, check under your bed last night.
Who knows?
I wish they had handled the Chip thing.
I just wish they had
differently to your,
because there were too many red herrings about who it actually was, and then it really was like it came out of nowhere in like the last 2 to 3 episodes where it was like Chip is being really sketchy.
I also think the West plot wasn't earned, or
then what's the point of that? If
why did he drug her? Because if he was just a weird creep who trying to hit on, like, again, it's never okay, but like if he was just like, if he just made an unwanted pass, that's different than trying to date rape somebody.
Well, and so the other thing too is, if we want to go back to our confirmation conversation, it's never been confirmed that he drugged Tabby, that Wes drugged Tabby.
It's implied.
It is implied, but it's not confirmed, so I don't know.
Because I don't think anyone ever said anything about that, so that was weird. Because I'm at this place where our big fear going into this was that it was going to be canceled on a cliffhanger and yada yada. And I'm in this weird limbo where I would absolutely watch more. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. However, if it were canceled, I'd also say, well, that was fun and move on.
I'm going to jump straight to the end. No matter what this show ever does in the future, if it keeps going, if we get 10 more seasons, no matter what it does, it will never recapture the like 45 seconds before we found out who was adopting Imogen's baby, when I knew for certain.
You want to talk about fear.
The fear of God.
We have stared terror straight in the eyes. We went through stages of grief. There was bargaining. There was like she was like, it's this great couple from Rosewood. We were like, no, and I was like, no. You can still stop. We can still, we can get out of this unscathed. Look, why are you doing this?
I would have even been cool, fine, whatever, if it was like Emily and her partner. They
could have even been like, she's a writer, or what is she a writer now? Or
they're both writers.
And he has a bookshop. And we were like, I think we were both screaming at that point. Yeah. But then they uttered
Arya and Ezra.
And they're going to keep her in the loop.
Because that's the other thing too, is like, it puts so much more weight on the OG series, because I'm like, now you're saddling Arya and Ezra with an infertility plot 10 years later. And I don't even get the pleasure of seeing Lucy Hale cry her big fat eyes out about that.
I imagine they'd bring them in if this like keeps going. Because now their baby that they've adopted is like the product of an A-related rape. Like
Troy and Belisario or nothing.
So it was a lot. I loved that was one of a few times that we were nervous or that we were scared. What was the other time? I guess when Greg got shot, because I called that. I loved Kelly's stuff.
Mhm.
I loved. Oh yeah, because we cheered when
Martha,
Martha stabbed
the
Sheriff
sheriff,
Beasley.
Tom, I guess.
And I'm with you. I wish he had just I wish he didn't die.
Well,
He was a good foil. Like he was a good villain to have.
all we know is that A stabbed him again.
Well, yeah, I'm
in
sure.
the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was sort of hilarious when Imogen woke up and Tabby and Sydney were both there, and they were like, "Well, Archie got stabbed, but he's still alive, and the sheriff got stabbed, but he's still alive." And I was just like, and Chip got shot, and I was certain it was going to be, but Chip or Greg got shot, but he's dead. I was just certain. But
she was like, Chip's been arrested, blah, blah, blah. She was rattling off all this stuff. Because that was also the thing, my fear with Greg, is that Kelly seemingly, like, she escapes her house. Because he was going to keep them there.
He was going to kill all three of them. When he got the gun out and he said to Kelly, "How many bullets do you think are in this gun?" He said 3. No, you're never leaving this house again.
I thought it was a threat. Like, if you do, okay.
That was a Christmas.
It was going to be a murder-suicide.
Well, it was going to be a Christmas family annihilation for sure. That's the other thing too, is she escaped and she ran straight to the pizza place to get Greg, and
she runs. They paid the licensing fee for Motley Crue.
Yeah.
She runs in, grabs Greg by the wrist, and runs out.
But Greg only. There's a group of football players, and it's Greg only.
And then they go running into the gym, and she shoves him in front of them.
Right in front of a bullet. She literally brings Greg in and says, "Principal Clanton, shoot Greg in the shoulder."
I mean, it was fine. It was fine. It was fine.
Well, it's like, I don't know. The principal's, that actor is not old enough to be doing this, but he is Angela's father.
And so who was the one? So he was the one who was orchestrating the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so he was A, and Archie was just his, like, the mountain.
Yeah.
You know? Because
he seems to understand some stuff, but it's a very, like, point and shoot kind of thing.
And they kidnapped a bunch of people and had the girls come in and confront their bullies. And like only like 1.5 of them actually constituted bullies.
Yeah. It's also, so he kidnapped all of the mothers and had them held in the auditorium. And then for Noah, it was the drug dealer. For Imogen, it was her mother's dead body.
So that was the wildest
with the
one.
gravestone and everything.
That was the wildest one. It was kind of an homage to Halloween.
Of course.
But Noah's the drug dealer. It's like that dude has no relation
to this
to
situation.
Noah.
Also,
like he's her mother. Like her mother owes him money. He's the victim.
No, 100%. It's so crazy. And so the thing that's even crazier is it's like they've all got these like punishments where it's like for Tabby it was like carve an A into Chip's chest.
Which I mean, the word carve has implications that I think are pretty intense.
Yeah.
But she could have like promising young womaned him and been like, there, I did it, and also he's fine.
Yeah. Well, the point was that they showed mercy. That would like the fact that none of them actually did do it, because the thing with Noah is that it was just like 6 syringes of heroin.
Yeah. And Madame Giry was just a bitch.
Yeah, what the hell was the Madame Giry?
She was just stern, which is like part of like ballet Madame 101.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't think I was very against the Madame Giry.
And
then and then Mouse's was Steve. But again, bully is a very specific term, and none of these people necessarily like
he menaced her like twice, but then finally left her alone, and she like wrangled him back. I don't know.
Yeah,
that was all very, very strange. And the fact that they were spared because they showed mercy, that I hate that part so much, because A has given them no implication or no reason to believe that it was a test.
Yeah.
It's more,
all the text messages said your final test is.
I suppose, but it was giving me more
trial. It kept saying
it was giving me more Saul logic than it was like, and so I was just sort of like
how are we to know that mercy is the thing we should be doing?
I would absolutely give somebody mercy, but not at the expense of not having me get mutilated.
Yeah, like not at the expense of me or my mother.
I mean, I would be like, I don't know. I don't. And I can't stress enough that it's not that I'm unwilling to die. It's that I'm unwilling to experience discomfort.
Sure. But the other thing, too, is it's
pain.
like the only one who not even arguably, the only one that deserves their punishment is Chip. And having to walk around and explain to future partners why you have an A carved in your chest, I think is fine. That's like a fine eye for an eye punishment for me. I don't know. Well, he got killed at the end, so who knows?
Seemingly.
In a fucking stupid sweater.
I did really like their like little Christmas scene at the end,
Yeah.
and I was happy that Martha got out of that house.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, medium. It was medium for me, and I stand by.
I think that's fine.
I think that there's a few more things we could say, and if you want to, we can. But I'm also, I think, good.
Well, a couple things. I really like the montage of Archie taking all the mothers. I also did really like that all of the girls went back to A's house together, and they didn't even go in rooms alone. They were combing through the house completely together.
I did want to say that I thought that watching their bonds with each other and their friendship was a fun part of it. And I like that there wasn't infighting.
Yes. Not yet, at least. That's something that like the OG series was always a little where it was like kind of contrived drama between the girls in order to like split them up and like do different stuff. And because they already had like past things that had broken up the friend group to start with, I always really liked it, but it was sometimes, like I said, it was contrived. And this was a lot more like they're coming into this friendship at the same time that all this stuff is happening. I also like it was Davy. She was the ringleader, like I kept saying. And, you know, it sort of was like
I needed a little bit more there.
The logic, though, of the principal was faulty, just like Imogen said, where it's sort of like Davy changed and became a different person as an adult, as most people do. But
we need to see that. And like, we need to experience it because we met her being nice. And then we spent 9 episodes of seeing her be atrocious
as a child. Yeah.
And a teenage girl.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like, I mean, it's nice that Imogen had a nice image of her mom.
Yeah.
But
but also the whole sins of the mother.
And also I do kind of hate that she was that rattled to go horrifically kill herself and abandon Imogen. They were terrible. I don't like.
Oh yeah, so she did just kill herself. That's right. Yeah.
Ew.
No, that's not good. That's not great at all.
And that's not judgment on mental illness.
No, of course not. But it is just sort of like,
because I think suicide's complicated.
Of course,
complex. Yeah. But given the way the show instructed us to treat this and feel about it, that's just it. That is the whole like, ew, so you were just really weak and abandoned your family.
Yeah, I don't like that messaging at all. Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you. I'm mixed on it. It was like a fucking ride. But that's the other thing is I did have
fun. I had a lot of fun.
I just don't I think the principal is so unhinged that like it's sort of senseless to me.
It was sort of like that might as well be.
Sure.
We might as well do this.
Yeah.
So no, I'm going to stand by what I said, that I would absolutely watch more. However, if I find out it gets canceled, I don't think I would think much of it.
I'm not going to be devastated
after that place.
But I am glad that we got bullied into covering this because it was a fun week.
We need to be careful letting them know that works.
People have already asked us for like 4 different things.
The worst part is so many of these things I actually am interested in.
Yeah.
But we have a finite amount of time and resources.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, I would absolutely like to watch Evil because ever since it moved to Paramount Plus, I'm like, you know what? That sounds great. Yeah. But I just don't know when I'm going to be able to.
Same.
Unless you want to start paying us.
Then I could.
Then maybe we
quit my day job.
So, anything else?
Nope, I'm pretty good. It was good. I liked it. I liked doing it.
I'm going to lock it in my pocket and take this one to the grave.